Games, Brrraaains A Head-Banging Life here with 10 things we love about Mother's Day. Not the day, we love our mothers, but not the day specifically, rather the movies. Mother's Day 1980 and the very loose remake in 2010, also called Mother's Day. Yes, this is a double episode in the sense that we'll be covering both movies in one, the original and the remake. Before this, I'd only ever seen the remake.
Yep.
I hadn't seen the original.
I hadn't seen either.
So, yeah.
There's also a 2016 one that came up when I searched, but it looks like some horrible, mishmash of like any actors you want.
Rom-com.
Like a rom-com.
Yeah, like a rom-com,
God,
yeah.
It looks horrific.
Yeah, if you Google Mother's
scary.
Day, you'll find that. Yeah, more than
scary,
anything else.
Yeah.
It could be terrifying.
Yeah.
But, these movies, they're not scary movies in that sense. The original is very much it's a Troma movie, put it that way, and very much so in a lot of fashion. Not necessarily the over-the-top goriness that you'll often get with Troma, but more the slapstick silliness that you get with Troma.
It's quite restrained in the part of like being gory and stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the 2010 one is a very late torture porn style, brutal, realistic thing.
They're so worlds apart, aren't they?
They're worlds apart. They really are. This is not like the My Bloody Valentine 10 Things We Did, where the remake and the original are so similar. It's not. This is a very loose remake. It really is. But it is a remake nonetheless because it uses the same characters, plot points, certain the overarching story of Mother and so on, and a couple of hints here and there back to the original. So, 10 Things I Love, 10 Things You Love, covering both movies. Random. It could have been weighted towards one or the other depending on how it is. So I get us started with the first thing I love. And it applies to both films.
Yeah.
I do think both films are very good in their own ways. One is silly with its tongue-in-cheek. The other is very serious. But I think they're both actually good movies in their own way, you know? I think you can enjoy both. They both have problems, big problems.
Definitely.
But I think overall, watching them both back-to-back as we did, I thought they were both enjoyable. Yeah.
So my first one was for females not cliches.
Okay.
Mainly in the original, 1981. So it was like the girls in the Rat Pack were pranksters. They didn't just like take things. Oh, they didn't get kidnapped and go, oh, that's fine. They actually fought back and they were like trying to get away from it, and just raw reactions. I thought in the second film, not as much. I mean, like the woman, the main woman, Beth, she was quite strong in her own way, but I think some of the ways she got to that were a bit blown out of proportion, if that makes sense. So she's trying to protect herself and her baby.
Yeah,
They're
both very different sets of characters. That's the thing. The original, our victims, so to speak, are a trio of women. That is it.
Yeah.
In the remake, it's a number of women and men.
Yeah.
That changes the dynamic completely as well.
Yeah.
We do actually double up on this.
Yeah.
I also have the females in the 1980 film aren't weaklings and capable of fighting back. Their defiance throughout leads to the tables being turned in the final 10 minutes, which is particularly a highlight of that movie.
Yeah.
You want to, after seeing suffering, so to speak, throughout, and beaten up and abused and so on, you kind of want to get a whole comeuppance thing. It's what made things like I Spit in Your Grave popular movies and all that. These people suffer. Now, the events that occurred to the ladies in the 1980s aren't the most horrific of events.
In terms of horror films.
In terms of horror films, yeah. I mean, there is one who, unfortunately, does get the worst of it more than the rest of them. But it's still like you want to cheer them on.
Yeah.
So I do think the 1980s film did right and create strong women characters, which was a good thing. Yeah. So go again as we doubled up.
Yeah. So back into the characters again. I think it was a love on its own. It's like the bond that you get.
What between
the Rat Pack? Sorry, in the original one.
Yeah.
Like the three girls, like they've got this bond. They look out for one of them who makes poor choices in boyfriends all through her life, and they're like, no, we're going to help you out. They do pranks. They're still wavering about if they want to meet up every year, but they still do it because their love's still there.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that. And even like when one of them got hurt and stuff like that, it was. You believed that they were really going to look after each other, and you felt their pain and stuff, but it wasn't over the top or dumb rock. It gave credit to the actual bond. It wasn't just three friends, BFFs. It was no, actually they have got something,
Yeah.
solid.
I think it's a very, very well put point. The characters' relationships and bond in the 1980s film is strong.
Yeah, make
believable.
Me feel for them. Yeah, make me feel for them. Make me like bond with them. And you've not got much time to do that, so you've got to do it well. And I think they did.
And they really didn't have much time to do it in the 1980s one, and it's something that is very, very lacking in the 2010 one. However, I believe that's on purpose. From where that plot point goes. But okay, kind of continuing with my very first point. Mine is specific about the remake, and as remakes go, we've said this already at the beginning, but the 2010 one is so wildly different that to me it actually makes them more watchable. So think about your remakes, and you think about your, look at My Bloody Valentine, for example. We have a remake there that is lesser in almost every way.
Yeah.
And although it does exactly the same things, majority, it's lesser. The Nightmare on Elm Street remake, another movie that is, again, almost completely the same, but lesser. Friday the 13th and so on. All these remakes, some of the J-horror remakes, Ring to Ring, Ringu to Ring, Dark Water to Dark Water, all these things. This is one where I think the 2010 one is so different that, like I did when I first saw it, I didn't know it was a remake. Didn't even know, I'd never heard of Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And I think that makes it more watchable.
Yeah, so you're not always comparing it going, oh, well, that one.
And even if you did know the 1980s one, you can't sit there and compare. There's no like, oh, they did that scene better in the 80s, or they did that sequence better in the 80s.
Yeah.
It just doesn't exist. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
The next one is the modern setup. So 2010 was believable.
Okay, yeah.
So you've got a downstairs. If you've got a nice area like that, the rest of the house wasn't done up at all. You put money into your basement. You make yourself a nice party area, pool.
They'd moved in 2 months previously.
Yeah, so you get your friends over, clearly some sort of party, and it makes sense, downstairs when the break-in happens, you can't hear downstairs.
Well, there's music playing as well. Yeah. There's a lot of exposition at the beginning of that movie, which is a little clunky, but does all make sense. The music playing, can't hear downstairs. That the upper part of the house is effectively still a bit of a rebuilding job. There's a storm coming that night. It's a lot of lot of coincidences that require it.
Yeah, because he says, "Oh, you see these walls, and it's nice and strong. I've just had it redone." Oh.
And later on, that would be coming to play when it's like we can't smash a window because they're reinforced.
Yeah.
It's silly in that sense, but it works.
Yeah.
It works because it is a movie, and you've got to detach yourself sometimes and go, "Okay, that's fine."
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, we're not actually doubling up as much, but we might double up in this one.
Okay.
Mother in both films. So we have Beatrice Pons in 1980 and Rebecca De Mornay in 2010. Both play very different versions, very different characters. So Beatrice Pons, her character's more eccentric than anything else.
Yeah.
She's got a murderous edge. We see that at the very start when she basically leads two hippies to their deaths. She's happy enough to watch her son rape another woman.
Yeah.
And she has a certain gleefulness about this. But also we only see it briefly where she's clearly kind of controlling her sons with what's potentially a lie about Queenie, and she guilts them into staying and looking after her. She's a fun character.
Yeah.
Rebecca De Mornay, though, I mean, if I was to rank both of them, Rebecca De Mornay kicks ass because A, she's a great actor, but also her role in this is a lot different to this one. She's far more serious. Her introduction is that she seems almost sweet and kind, like a mother, and then she kind of reveals her darker and twisted self as the movie goes on. I think she'll go the length she'll go to protect her family, so to speak, but then also how manipulative she is. Both Mother and both films, it's why it's called Mother's Day.
Yeah,
they are the standouts.
We definitely doubled up on that one.
Of course.
And so Rebecca De Mornay, you turned to me at one point and said, "Oh, look how good she is."
Yeah.
Like everyone in that room is just listening to her, and she's coming in. She's being very diplomatic, like a parent going, "Well, look at my sons. I'm sorry about my sons. I apologize for my sons," and then sits down and goes, "But you've got my money somewhere," and then goes into like full on not job mode.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they're amazing. And the mum in the original one with her neck brace and stuff like that, you think, does she really need that? Is she like
is it all part of it?
The con? Obviously, when she tricks the first two people, they think, oh, just some old biddy, and then which I thought was a really good scene.
Absolutely.
So yeah, just an example of how good she was. But yeah, Rebecca De Mornay, just for that. Because she played it straight and then went mean, I think that was more believable than the more like maniacal part.
The again, like the films overall, they're two very different roles, but they both work. Okay, right, we double up, so I'm going to go again. And continuing, I guess, with the cast then. A very strong cast in the 2010 movie. So we've already mentioned Rebecca De Mornay. Jamie King does well. Patrick John Fluger is brilliant. Warren Cole, Deborah Ann Wall, Brianna Evigian, Sean Ashmore, Frank Grillo, and more. This is the major cast, and there's not bad. There's a couple of roles that are understated and nowhere is good, but actor-wise, that's character more than anything else. Actor-wise, it's solid as fuck.
Good job,
solid as fuck.
Believe all their friends and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So my next one was the uncomfortable scenes.
Okay.
So both had uncomfortable scenes like involving sex.
Yep.
And that kind of just made the mum extra mean and extra horrible to watch.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just a case of, she got her boys to do other things and she wasn't doing much herself. It was like, no, she was really involved in some pretty disgusting stuff. So like that in the original, obviously she's happy to like watch these setups that the boys do of how they're going to rape this woman, and she kind of marks them, doesn't she? She gives them points and stuff. So one of their hands is unbound, so
like a performance, off.
Yeah, and like sort of rating them for their training and stuff, which was what she was doing. And the mum in the second one wanted to get her son laid before he died.
Yeah.
And brought a woman in to like just try and shag her half-dead son.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, so that was really like, ugh. As much as it's disgusting to watch, it was like, okay, that actually takes you to another level, which is part of what I want to see from
I think they're both equally tense scenes. I thought it was interesting that 1980s one would go all the way with it and actually have the rape, whereas the 2010 one would stop short.
I suppose he's blood in his body to do anything.
yeah, but still, it stopped short.
Yeah.
Okay, both films, so 1980, 2010, had a set of villains who are the type that you actually want to see get a comeuppance. Yeah. There's no blurring the lines here, happily. Both sets of villains are unlikable.
Yeah.
Dislikable, even if there are momentary times when it seems like they might have a heart or be a bit nicer, it's so brief and rare and normally followed by something else. So like, I'll give you an example. I had a real problem with Patrick John Fluger in this movie. I'll get to that in another point.
Yeah.
But thankfully his character is such a dickhead that it's one of those where it's like, okay, cool. He will get his, I want him to get his. And the same in the original lot, like you want.
You don't. There's no kind of letting off there. So.
But by time, I think the 2010 one might do it better. By the time you kind of reach the finale, you really want to see Mother get fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, you really do. Yeah.
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 My next one. In both films, no wasting time.
Oh, good.
So yeah, straight in. None of this line of like long build up. It was like, okay, first one. You see the granny do a little ruse. The mum do a ruse, and you realise, oh, okay, so this is the start of it. They're all completely mad. And in the 2010 one, it's like, okay, party. We go in, party. After that, obviously the opening, straight into the party. Turned up at the house. That's, see what I mean? Straight in.
See, as well to add to that, because I haven't got it, but I'm going to add to it, because you are right. So what you described in the 1980s one is correct, but then you do get a probably 10 to 15 minute bonding characters, a trio of girls, and all that, where that's where it slows down. However, what's really cool about that is you get this decent chunk of time to get to know them and stuff like that. First you see them at their own places and the lives they live, and then they're trekking and hiking in the woods and they're having fun playing pranks and all that. And it's literally them bedding down mid-conversation, and suddenly the villains just jump in the scene. Yeah. Whereas the 2010 one, you're right, it's like, I'd say within 10-15 minutes the house is broken into. But then you do get, because they do get, it slows down again as they kind of just have the hostages, and while we wait for Mother to arrive.
Yeah.
So I do what you're saying. It's like quickly fast, but it's not high paced from that point onwards.
Yeah.
But when it does then speed back up, it kind of sticks consistent to that. Yeah. Okay, mine's a scene. We're now going to a specific scene, just because it made me laugh and it was good. And it's right at the very end of the 2010 movie, the last 10 minutes. And it's Jamie King's Beth fighting back, and she smashes Mother across the head with this top of a cistern.
Yeah.
The top of a toilet cistern.
Oh, God,
which is a big old chunky piece of enamel. Ceramic, yeah. And she smashes her around the head, knocks her through the shower like glass. It is a brutal scene, but it is a proper gleeful fucking moment. You are like, oh, brilliant, you know? Yeah.
So my one link to that is I put the kettle scene in 2010.
Oh.
I found that horrific. Like, I've never seen that in a horror film before as a method of torture in a film. Not ever, anything to do with ears like that. And I thought
Describe it.
So One of the sons gets a kettle of scalding, boiling hot water and pours it in his ears.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was horrendous. Oh, yeah,
And
I've never had that in a film. Like, it's a simple idea, but it's really awful to think about what you're actually doing.
And it's interesting, we would actually get to see later in the movie as well what that does to his disorientation. As we get a couple of moments where we kind of get it from his perspective, ringing ears, sight gone the fuck, because it would fuck his head up. You know, so it is clever.
Yeah, its own point, because I thought it was really horrible to think about. So
yeah. I have another scene. We're now in the 1980s film, 1980, and it's simply Mother's End, which is, it's just so silly and so Troma. She's suffocated to death with a pair of breast pillows.
Yeah.
And suffocated to that. And it's actually a pretty harrowing scene because of what the character who's suffocating it is kind of going through. She's basically envisioning she's murdering her own mother, who's been demanding on her and stuff like that. But it's a mix of that Troma's silliness. It's a pair of breast pillows.
Yeah.
And harrowing of that. Yeah, just really, I think that really sticks out.
See, we kind of doubled up, because I put the ending of it. It wasn't. There was no like glee to it. It wasn't like, yeah, we've killed the bad. Like we finally finished off the whole family.
Yeah.
It was generally like it exhausted her, and it was just they were trying to get revenge for their friend, just get away from this family.
It's
so
traumatic.
Like it was quite believable. In fact, it wouldn't be like, oh, we just killed these people, high five, because that's not what they were. It was generally like, shit, we've had to go through this, and so like the flashback to her situation with her mother and the guilt of thinking, shit, I could quite easily do this to my own mother.
Yeah.
For the stress and the sort of hardship I feel and the guilt and that. So I really appreciate the fact that it wasn't like, and then like a montage of them just going home. It was just,
No, I agree.
It's been sort of like really hard. Yeah, so I enjoyed that.
Yeah. All right. 2010 again.
Mm-hmm.
Shawn Ashmore's character George. Now I have a particular hard on for Shawn Ashmore anyway. In a lot of the horror movies he's in. But I love his character George in this because I love that he has no fear. He knew his use would run out. He basically is a doctor and is tasked with saving one of the sons who has been shot throughout the movie. But basically throughout it, he uses that to advantage to first, I guess, almost try and manipulate the daughter, or at least make her see how how mother has manipulated her.
Yeah.
Although he is playing his own game there, clearly.
Yeah.
But the part I particularly love is when he's advancing a mother and calling her out on hypocrisy.
Yeah.
And she knows it.
Yeah.
She's backing away from him. At that point, she's the strong character. Yet what he's saying to her, she knows to be true. She starts backing away. I think his character is one of the best in it.
Yeah, because like I said, there's no fear and stuff.
He wasn't scared.
No, I think part of it might come from, if you're like, say, a doctor in the inner city, you might have to deal with difficult people, and like trying to. I
think he was given an impossible task as well.
Yeah, and he was kind of like, well, what do I do in this situation? So yeah, I really liked his character.
Yeah.
I put I like the invented deaths in the 1980s one. It was like the whole slapstick part of it was quite good.
Yep.
So like the TV and like smashings in the head, and I think was it lye or rat? What was it? What was they poured something into his mouth? I think it was poison or lye or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that, and they did that in both films. But it was kind of more.
There's a difference between the slapstick style of 1980s film and the more violent version in 2010.
Yeah, but I did enjoy that. Saying mainly was the 1980s slapstick part side of it all.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that. Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing to lead into my last one then, because I like the small references to the 1980s film in the 2010 film, which is what makes it a remake. There aren't loads of them, but there was a couple dropped in. Yeah, we have the obvious ones. It's the name of the sons, the fact it's mother and all that. But actually, references to Queenie. And if you know Queenie, what we're referring to. Queenie in 1980s, she's like a fake, implying a fake villain that mother uses to keep her sons in check. The boogeyman outside in the woods. She's hunting. Claims it was her sister that was evil from birth and cut her throat, which is why she has to wear the neck brace. But imagine,
broke her neck.
Broke her neck.
That was it, yeah. Sorry, it wasn't as like extreme as that. Yeah.
Now you will actually find at the end of that movie that might actually be true, but we'll get to that in a different video.
Yeah.
But that's also referenced in 2010 in a conversation between Shawn Ashmore's character George and Lydia, which is the daughter of the mother and of the family. He calls that bullshit there. Yeah. Although Lydia says, well, I don't believe it anymore anyway. But actually, you already mentioned as well, the TV dropped on the head to kill, is it Ike?
Yes.
It is Ike,
yes,
to kill
yes.
Ike. Well, Patrick John Fluger's character, which is obviously a nod to the kill in 1980s. Although in 1980s, the TV they said didn't actually kill him, whereas this one actually did kill him.
Yeah.
But it clearly that is really, like, people go, well, that may not be a reference. Really, the original movie used the TV to kill a character. This one uses the TV to kill a character.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's a reference.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate it. Yeah.
My last one was I thought Queenie was real. I thought it was a nice twist.
Okay, you like the twist. Okay.
I like the twist because I thought like she was using that. Oh, there's that Queenie's always after me. Like she's trying to keep the boys with her, looking after her. So I thought all along she was using that neck brace and all the rest of it to keep the boys there.
Okay.
And it turns out it's actually real. So I was like, oh, okay. Then there actually was some nut job out there, and she might not have been as like evil as I can't think of the word. As deceitful as I previously thought.
Fair enough.
So I quite enjoyed the fact they had Queenie as a real character.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't, but it's on another list.
Yeah.
Talking of which, there will be 10 things we hate about the 1980s Mother's Day and the 2010 Mother's Day. Make sure you check that video out and let us know some of your thoughts about these films in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon and help us out over there. That's patreon.com/GBHBL, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?